You're home alone. No music, no TV, no notifications, just you and the quiet. And then something strange happens. The silence gets loud. You start hearing your own breathing. A clock you never noticed before, the hum of the refrigerator, a creak in the floor that suddenly sounds like a footstep. And before you've even thought about it, your hand is reaching for your phone, your laptop, the TV remote, anything to fill the quiet. But here's what nobody tells you. You're not imagining the noise. The silence is genuinely getting louder. And the reason why reveals something fascinating about how your brain was built. If you've ever felt uncomfortable in complete silence, you're in very good company. In fact, feeling at ease in total silence is the exception, not the rule. Psychologist Esther Buchholz spent years studying what she called the paradox of aloneness, the fact that humans are deeply social creatures who simultaneously need solitude to function well, but find genuine silence profoundly unsettling when they actually get it. Most people, when placed in a genuinely quiet environment, report a creeping sense of unease within minutes. Not fear exactly, but a kind of alertness. A low-level feeling that something is missing, or worse, that something is coming. Here's what's actually happening inside your brain when silence falls. Your auditory cortex, the region responsible for processing sound, doesn't go quiet when the room does. It does the opposite. In the absence of external sound, it actually increases its sensitivity, essentially turning up its own volume to find anything to process. This is why you hear your own heartbeat in a quiet room, why a dripping tap becomes unbearable at 2 a.m. but inaudible at noon. Your brain isn't receiving more sound, it's listening harder. Neuroscientist Dr. Robert Zatorre at McGill University found that the auditory cortex remains highly active even in complete silence, anticipating sound, predicting it, searching for it. Your brain, in silence, is not resting, it's on patrol. But why does your brain patrol in silence? The answer goes back hundreds of thousands of years. For most of human evolutionary history, silence was not peaceful. Silence was dangerous. When the birds stop singing, when the insects go quiet, when the forest falls still, that is the moment before a predator strikes. Natural silence, in the wild, is a warning signal. It means something large enough to scare everything else has entered the area. Your ancient ancestors who treated silence as a threat lived longer than those who relaxed into it. And so your nervous system inherited that alarm, the low-level spike in alertness that fires automatically every time the world goes too quiet. Silence isn't neutral to your brain. It never was. It's a signal. And 300,000 years of evolution have made sure you can't ignore it. There's another layer to this that most people never hear about. When the brain's auditory system turns up its sensitivity in silence and still finds nothing, it sometimes starts generating its own sound. This is the neurological basis of tinnitus, the ringing, buzzing, or hissing that millions of people experience in quiet environments. The brain, expecting sound and finding none, essentially creates a phantom signal to fill the gap. Neuroscientist Josef Rauschecker at Georgetown University found that this isn't a malfunction, it's the auditory system doing exactly what it was designed to do, just without external input to work with. The sound of silence for many people is literally the sound of their own brain searching for something to hear, and finding only itself. Here's something interesting. Not everyone experiences silence the same way. Research by psychologist Hans Eysenck found that introverts and extroverts have fundamentally different baseline levels of cortical arousal. Introverts are already running at a higher internal stimulation level, which is why they find silence more tolerable and external noise more draining. Extroverts, by contrast, have a lower baseline arousal level and actively seek external stimulation to reach their optimal level, which is why silence feels not just uncomfortable, but genuinely empty to them. Neither is broken. They're just calibrated differently. And this calibration, Eysenck argued, is largely biological, not a personality choice, but a neurological set point you were born with. So, what do you do with all of this? First, understand that your discomfort with silence is not a character flaw. It's a 300,000-year-old alarm system that was genuinely useful for most of human history. You can't logic it away, but you can work with it. Researcher Esther Buchholz found that people who deliberately practice what she called alone time, not distracted time, not scrolling time, but genuine quiet time, showed measurably lower stress responses over time. The brain, like any alarm system, can be recalibrated. It learns that silence doesn't mean danger. But it takes repetition. Start with 2 minutes of deliberate quiet. No phone, no music. Just sit with the discomfort and let your brain realize nothing is coming. Second, try what researchers call silence reframing. Instead of experiencing silence as an absence, experience it as a presence, the presence of your own thoughts, your own breath, the sound of your own mind. Third, know that the moment of discomfort at the beginning of silence is the alarm firing. If you wait just 2 or 3 minutes, it almost always settles. Your ancient brain checks for predators, finds none, and stands down. The next time you're alone and the silence gets loud, don't reach for your phone. Don't turn on the TV. Just sit. Let the alarm fire. Let your ancient brain scan the perimeter. And then watch what happens when it finds nothing. Because in that moment, in that 2 minutes of genuine quiet, you might hear something you've been drowning out for a very long time. Yourself.